Hello and good evening to you all. I do apologise for the delay in my arrival, but I have been at a party and been a matter dealt with. So I am here now, and here I am, and I hope that you will all be able to join in. Yes, today has been a day where this man, Scooby, has done probably his worst. He is a very, very stupid piece of toe rag, I would suggest. I would suggest that this man has gone far too far, but I see that the royal family are behaving in response with and grace, with Prince William and his wife, the Princess of Wales, going to the Royal Albert Hall. Firstly, may I take this opportunity to thank Bernadette for her delivery of parcels to the magnet, which she calls the Magnum, but it is the magnet. But I do like magnums also, but magnums of wine, that is. Um, but thank you very much to Bernadette for her kind delivery. That was very generous of you, Bernadette. So I won't say your surname because we don't want your privacy invaded, but thank you. So, yes, the day has focused mostly in the news on Omid Scobie, aside from the deaths of Alistair Darling, who was actually clearly quite a sensible gentleman in many ways. I learned more about him today than I previously knew, but I can't say I was ever a great fan, but he clearly will be missed by many people. So that is the sad news from him and the singer of the Pogues, who also died. There seem to be a lot of people dying. It's the time of year when, sadly, this does happen. According to Sky News, returning to our main topic, the palace are now considering all options. After Kate and King Charles were named in the Archie skin colour rouse, Sky News, The Guardian, lots of other publications and news channels have been following Piers Morgan's lead and naming everyone. And here is Bernadette. So thank you to Bernadette yet again. Now Bernadette is in the room. Thank you, Bernadette. Anyway, Buckingham Palace is considering whether it should take action. Well, I would suggest that it would be wise for them to do such. This man, Omid Scobie, is a plastic prattler. He is a complete drip and a piece of drivel and talks utter nonsense about the royal rota and all the rest of it. He's obviously frustrated, he said, as he turned up on his TV show dressed in his white trainers, which frankly looked appalling. I don't possess trainers myself. I'm not into trainers. I like Todd shoes. I like other kinds of shoes, but I don't wear trainers. No, not my thing. Okay, each to their own. I'm sure many of you do like trainers. And it's also been pointed out to me that Henry Kissinger is dead as well. Well, recollections may vary about him. I think the man was very intelligent. He was obviously also involved with some rather curious activities. But anyway, going back to the matter in hand. This man, plastic, not fantastic, Scooby, has crossed the line. Enough is enough. This Endgame is a book that should not have been published. This book has clearly not been able to be published without cooperation from people close to Meghan and Harry, Meghan, as I call her. Now, this is a book that is full of ridiculous revelations. The Evening Standard produced an interview. My phone, sorry, is beeping because all of this Twitter, the Twitterati I put posts on it about things. So there we go. You'd like to see me in a pair of Nike Air Max, Nicole? No, thank you. Don't want any of those. Bernard Weatherall do not make trainers. No, I'm wearing a Bernard Weatherall ensemble, which you can currently see. But they don't make shoes either. No, I do like Todd's shoes, but not trainers. No, I do not do trainers. So anyway, the Royal Insider, as he calls himself, is not a royal insider. He's a royal rat. He's just a toe rag who lives off the coattails of the royal family, producing tawdry books. As I said on my own Twitter, I think it should be called Omid Scobie instead of Omid. He really is ridiculous. He isn't friends with the Sussexes, he claimed to Robbie Griffiths of the Evening Standard. He's tired of being called Meg's pal. It's a force he cannot stop. Well, it's a force he could very easily have never started. He didn't have to start writing about it in the first place, and he didn't have to write about it for a second time. This little brat is a pest, and he's not actually that young. You know, he's lied about his age, which he now claims he has to own. He claims he doesn't sit around with her, but he does go and talk to all her friends. How can he write a book without sources? And then how can he write a book in which he then says it got translated, but it wasn't his fault that people got named in it? Well, names do not appear by magic, and Piers Morgan was quite right to call out Plastic Face for that. And, you know, he does have a love of Botox, so I think it's fair to call him Plastic Face. He has attacked so many people, from King Charles to Queen Camilla to Prince William to Princess of Wales to all sorts of other people. He is a moaning, groaning piece of toe rag who doesn't know what he was talking about. You know, he used to work for Heat magazine. He used to hang around with Jodie Marsh, who's a very curious soul. It's not fair that he gets called out for working and belittled for working at Heat magazine, he's adding. You know, he studied journalism, he claims. He went on to work for Harper's Bazaar. Well, he is bizarre, that's for sure. And he's moaning that his father is being harassed, as well as him. You know, he lied about being 42 and said that he was a little younger. You know, he claimed to be 6 years younger than he really was in one interview. This is not somebody who should be trusted with our words. No, he is a complete piece of junk. And I think enough is enough, and I think the royal family would do best to sue him. I totally understand that they won't, because they don't want to add more fuel to the fire and encourage this little rotten rat to say any more. The best thing they can probably do is totally ignore him, which may not be a bad thing to do. I would suggest that could be a wise course of action. Harry and Meghan have definitely engineered all of this. This definitely goes with their sickening agenda. Absolutely appalling, rotten scumbag people. We do not have any time for them in this household, that is for sure. But this is now a matter which is only going to get worse and worse, given other members of the family have now been named by Piers Morgan and others, which I don't blame Piers Morgan for doing. You know, the names are already out there in the public domain. We now live in a global age where on the internet things go viral within minutes. So it's not Piers Morgan's fault that they're being named, but it is the fault of Omid Scobie, Plastic Not Fantastic, for bringing this up in the first place. This is now going to become more and more of a saga. Yet again, you know, this time last year, just before Christmas, we had all of this. The Drip and his stupid wife, Megan, they cannot stand when they've not got attention. And this is the time of year they seem to like to cause the most trouble. Well, this should be a Christmas where they should learn the art of giving back rather than continually taking. And they should shut up their little puppet, their little sock puppet, who is a complete waste of space, and they should learn some bloody respect. Enough is enough. We've had enough of them. So the unconscious bias needs to move on. Enough is enough. Anyway, I shall talk about something else. The something else being the next topic I shall talk about will be Holly Willoughby. Now, Holly Willoughby is another of this same kind of degenerate crowd. She has allegedly been left at rock bottom. Now, Holly Wally Golly Dolly is a complete fool. She's left this morning 2 months ago, and her close friend Lee Francis has expressed concern for her. She is not in a good place. Well, the 42-year-old, same age as me, suddenly quit the show, and she's struggling. She's taken a huge knock, he says. She was the golden girl of ITV, but she's had a terrible drop, a horrible drop. She's at rock bottom at the minute. She's really not good. She's struggling. She thinks people are judging her. She's scared. I don't think she's in a good place. She's having a tough time. Well, maybe she is. Maybe she isn't. She's made enough money. Okay, it wasn't very nice that some horrible man was harassing her. Gavin Plum, who appeared at Chelmsford Crown Court previously. But Holly, the queue jumper, has made her bed, and she should jolly well lie in it. She is somebody who decided to go queue jumping, and that was totally inappropriate behavior. And she supported that totally inappropriate man, Philip Schofield, who is a complete pest who sells plonk that should be fit only for the plug hole. And frankly, I don't feel an ounce of sympathy for Holly Willoughby. Holly Willoughby is not someone who the violins should be playing for. They should be playing her out of the room and goodbye for good. I'm not interested in a return to the TV screen of Holly Willoughby. And having now had to endure watching This Morning, which is a program I don't normally watch because I watched the episode on Cliff Richard, and then today I watched the one Omid Scobie. The only highlight was listening to The Cause, who were these lovely Irish singers who are delightful people, but God knows what they were doing on such a trashy TV show. So, no, I don't think Holly Wally Golly Dolly deserves an ounce of our sympathy. Enough is enough. So I don't want to hear any more about her, but I shall talk next about a more positive story. Now, well, I wouldn't know. It may not be positive. It's ridiculous. A Mini Cooper S Mark 1. It belonged to the Cooper family. So, John Cooper. It is being put up for sale for a mighty sum, according to Haggerty, of £120,000. It was previously put up for sale for £140,000. It's been completely rebuilt. It's an almond green car, and it's got an old English white roof, restored to factory specifications. It's covered just 250 miles since its rebuild. It's famous for having been the model for one of the Corgi Vanguard toy cars. It is a ludicrous price, however, I would say. You know, £120,000 for a Mini. We have, you know, Peugeot 205 GTIs from the 1990s selling for 60, 70, 80,000 pounds. We are living in the world of bonkers. You know, old Land Rover Defenders are going up in price. And a lady I know in London has a classic car dealership. And she tells me because of this stupid Sadiq Khan and his ULEZ zone, they're getting many people coming to buy classic cars, but not your usual classic car, just simple ones. Anything that's old, so they can drive around London and avoid paying £12.50 a day. This is an absolute the bonkers era we do live in. So Gemini likes the Gilet. Well, the Gilet you can buy from Bernard Weverall. They sell them very cheap. I am not sponsored by Bernard Weverall, but I get a lot of clothes from there. So, and it is getting cold down here. So now I've been out to a wonderful dinner party with a lovely local family, the lovely Finn and his family, and we have talked about horse racing and all manner of other things because Finn's father is involved in horse racing. So there we go. So we've had a lovely day out, and that was wonderful. Harriet asks, were we freezing when we went out for our fishing? Well, we went fishing twice, once at 4:30 a.m. and then at 12:30 a.m. the next morning. It was not the day to go fishing, I can tell you that, but I did keep the guests supplied with suitable drinks. So that was a wonderful part to the entire evening. There we are. So Hillary says a haircut would be great. Now, I look a bit windswept because I've been blown away in a gale before I came back, but I only had my haircut 2 weeks ago, so it's a bit soon to have another one. I'm not somebody who gets my haircut every week. I'm not into having my haircut. There we go. So, thank you for your suggestion, but it's just an instance where I came back and was in a bit of a hurry. Bernadette says, go fishing in the summer. Harriet says, I'd hate every moment of the fishing trip. Bambi says, you can't think of anything worse than a fishing trip in the cold. Paulie says, Matthew is certainly not a hippie. No, I don't claim to be one, no. Heidi says, you look wonderful. Well, that's very kind of you to add. Other people say, who I can't use the name of because it's an unfortunate name that would be offensive, I watched the horses on their walks today. Well, horses are wonderful things to watch. I did get one first, courtesy of the lovely Lucinda Russell. So thank you, Lucinda Russell, and thank you to her wonderful horse, Cuban Cigar. Cuban Cigar is a horse I have been watching for some time, so I would urge you next time that Cuban Cigar is coming up on the cards to keep a lookout for Cuban Cigar. Anything to do with Lucinda Russell, I do tend to watch. I also like the Skeltons, and I also like the Tizzards. Wonderful people. What do I think, asks Hillary, about Piers Morgan? I think Piers Morgan has behaved completely correctly and has done nothing wrong. He is trying to promote his program, of course, which, of course, he's paid handsomely to do. So, of course, he has to be controversial and has to wind up Omid Scobie and Dr. Shouty Shola, who is an absolutely annoying, stupid, ridiculous woman. I don't think we need to hear any more from Dr. Shola. Let's put Dr. Shola on the Bibby Stockholm. I think I may have sunk the big Bibby Stockholm quite soon because of the weight of the occupants that I've put on it. But today's key guest to board the Bibby Stockholm has to be Dr. Shola. I think we should have a person of the day who we nominate. So if you'd like to nominate anyone else from today who should be sent aboard the Bibby Stockholm, please say now or forever hold your peace. Let's put Dr. Shola on the Bibby Stockholm because she is a menace. And, you know, she's got good company, Owen Jones, or that lot. There we go. Right. I've been told I should stop base talk. What do you think are the biggest challenges for the next years? Asks Bobby. Well, I'm not talking about base talk. I'm talking about the royal family, a significant part of our life in Britain. And these people, this Omid Scobie is an absolute disgrace. And as for Bobby's complaint, yes, I know some of you are mentioning Rishi Sunak. Well, I don't think he'll be Prime Minister for much longer, so there's no point whinging and whining about him because he will be gone at the next election. So don't panic. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Do calm yourselves. Keep yourselves, have another gin, whatever you feel you need to do, Bobby. I think it would be better, Bobby, that you focused on something that matters to you. Now, anyway, thank you for your opinion, Bobby. But I think we'll pass on any more from you on this evening. But thank you anyway. We like differing views. Recollections may vary, as somebody once said. Anyway, there you go. So there we are. My next topic after the car is Ghislaine Maxwell. So Ghislaine has now got herself into yet another story. How very boring is it? Well, government inspectors have discovered alarming conditions at the prison housing Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine is moaning that she's being mistreated in the federal prison. She's always moaning. All Ghislaine ever does is a moan. What else has she got to do? Ghislaine is the weakest link. Anne Robinson would have told her goodbye long, long, long ago. She wouldn't have lasted beyond the first round. She is an absolute horror. This little rat is doing anything she can to moan and groan because she doesn't have any other options left. And she's a spoilt princess whose father used to eat caviar out of a tin and wipe his behind with towels and then throw them on the floor just to irritate the maids. This is a family that lived like pigs, disgusting pigs. the Maxwell pig family, filth and scum, the lot of them, a horrible, wicked, vile family whose patriarch stole £500 million from pensioners. £500 million that has never been found. Thank you, Ghislaine, you wicked old witch. You friend of Prince Andrew. You friend of Jeffrey Epstein. You lover of Jeffrey Epstein. You associate of all manner of rotten ratbags. Ghislaine Maxwell, abuser, disgrace. Anyway, she's moaning about and other prisoners and inspectors are saying there weren't enough feminine hygiene products. They will be used to absorb water from the leaking windows, inoperable toilets. So I hate the word toilet. Inoperable showers in the hygiene areas. Well, Tallahassee prison is the place where someone like this belongs. I do not think people should be mistreated in prison, whoever they are, but this tyrant, this tyrannical, evil woman does not deserve your sympathy. There's plenty of other people who shouldn't be in prison whose sympathy is deserved. It is something we should all offer, but not her. Anyway, silly Ghislaine. Wicked Ghislaine. So, my next topic is moving along. I shall look next at the case of undersea wine. So, undersea wine is very interesting, and I don't know how much you know about undersea wine, but it's going to be a $6 billion industry, allegedly. So 145 bottles of champagne found 160 foot below the surface, and Veuve Clicquot are going to be developing this. So that is a very interesting thing. It's going to be something new, and it's supposedly the best place to preserve it. Anyway, that's a small aside, and it looks like undersea wine will become very expensive. But meanwhile, today I read a very, very interesting article from Town and Country magazine, the American publication, about people stealing wine. The new hot heist is stealing wine. It's called Sip and Seize. So skyrocketing prices of rare wine have fostered this crime du jour. So people are stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars of wine in California, in Spain, in France. It is becoming a new commodity. And when you have a fixed commodity, according to Maureen Downey, a global authority on wine and spirits fraud, when you have a new commodity with a fixed supply that is diminishing on a consistent basis whilst facing ever-growing demand, the opportunity for deception of all kinds is massive. You've got people buying up vast quantities of salvage stock and then selling it on to unsuspecting customers at premium prices. And the label still smells of smoke. So robberies are occurring. A $300,000 heist at a French laundry restaurant, which is somewhere I've dined in California. A wonderful restaurant, but very, 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 very expensive. Paulie points out Richard Madeley was ahead of his time. Yes, well, he was accused of a little bit of a champagne dash and grab, but he claims that that never happened. So Richard is in denial about this matter. He even told Bill Clinton he was innocent. So lots of businesses have been having incidents with wine theft and big wine thefts. And this article is very, very interesting. So I shall send you the article. So please have a read and enjoy learning about wine theft. There we go. So, the Petrus and the Roman Conte and Cheval Blanc, Mouton, Lafitte, all of these wines are very popular for fakery and fraud. But, with prices of wine going through the roof, there are lots of counterfeits. And this is all getting a little out of hand, according to this. And some of these wines end up being destroyed, just like fake paintings get destroyed. They now destroy fake wines. But yes, you are thinking of going on about Richard and Judy. So Hillary Powell says Richard Madeley is fantastic. Hillary Powell, are you making a joke or are you on the hooch? Because clearly you can't be anything but off your merry rocker. He's so good looking, you say. Oh, really? Well, Hillary obviously is on a different planet to most people. Nicole thinks Richard Madeley is lovely. Well, I think you've lost the plot too, love. Bambi says, I always thought Judy was a bit weird. No, I'd just say Judy was a bit on the hooch, a little bit too much, and had a habit of falling out of her bra. There we go. Judy looks like Richard's mother now. Well, Paulie, when he first met Judy, he used to call her mum. So the mother thing began at the beginning. I would say he looks more like Dorian Gray. As she gets older, he looks younger. He is a very, very strange man. And as for his weird wife, well, I wouldn't want to wake up looking like her, or wouldn't want to wake up looking at her, to be honest. That is my view on Richard and Judy, Dick and Dude. A very odd couple. I do not like the Maidleys. They should be on the Bibby Stockholm. They should be sitting next to Cliff Richard. Perfect place for them. They'd get on very well. They can have Holly Willoughby as well, and all the rest of them. So that is what an odd couple, says one of you. That is something I have to say I agree with. And I don't think I can repeat half of the other comments. There we go. So anyway, that is the good article to read. I would suggest learn a bit about the wine, and all will be fine. Now, I don't know if Harriet would be available to do this little quiz, but if we would like to do a quiz, Richard and Judy used to mingle with Anthea Turner. Well, they were all part of the same daytime TV set. David says maybe they still do. Well, thank you to David. This is a different David, but yes. Mary T asks, is there traffic going by? I don't know where the traffic's going by, but there's no traffic here. I live in a courtyard. I don't live anywhere near a road. So there we go. Right. Well, Harriet would like to do a quiz. If you don't mind having a quiz, you can have a quiz. I even have a quiz book sitting next to me. I don't think there's any sound behind me. No. Anyway, I can't help the noise. Don't know what the noise is. I'm filming this in the Chrome as instructed by the Google Mary T, but I cannot change any noise, but I don't hear noise other than perhaps the fridge in my kitchen area, which I'm not in. I'm in the sitting area of the kitchen room, but tomorrow we may move back to the winter sitting room. Right. What is the name of the official record of daily proceedings in the British Parliament? It is not Billy Piper's X, but it is Hansard. So well done to Busted. Busted gets the first point. The New Forest is a local government district in which English county? Famous for its ponies and famous for being in Howard's Way, a favourite TV series of mine. It is not Nottingham. That is Nottingham Forest, obviously. It is not Kent, but David wins with Hampshire. Well done to David. There we are. So well done, David. Right, the next question is, which musical term can also in mathematics refer to any line that passes through the center of a circle? It is not a stave, it's not a vector, it's not a radius, it's not a score, it's not a semi, it's not a circumference, it's not a crossword, it's not a diameter, it's not a riff, and it's not a coda. No, it's none of these things. You are obviously no good at this. 4 beats, no. Sector, no. It's not equator, it's not a quaver, it's not a rod. No, it's not an angle, it's not a clef, it's not a center line. Diameter is the closest answer, but it is not an amphitheater, but it's not the correct one. So I think we'll have to pass on this question. The answer was chord. No, none of you are musical, says Montacute. There we go. So we pass on that question. Phobos and Deimos are the 2 moons of what planet? The winner is Montacute with Mars. Well done, Montacute. Pol Pot was a tyrannical leader of which Asian country? Montacute wins again. Cambodia. Well done, Montacute. In pre-decimal British currency, how many pennies were there in a pound? Bambi Debonair wins the point. 240. Well done to Bambi Debonair. For her role in 2019's Judy, this is not Judy Finnegan, who became the only the 4th actress to win a Best Actress Oscar after previously winning Best Supporting Actress. It was not Judy Finnegan. It wasn't Judi Dench. It wasn't Judy Garland. It wasn't Helen Mirren. It wasn't anything of these numbers. It wasn't Olivia Voltzman, whoever she is, or Lady Gaga, or Katharine Hepburn. It wasn't Judy Geese and Nika Elastic. It wasn't Judy Law. No, you're not very good at this question either. It wasn't Jude. I think you mean Jude Law, but he's not a female, so that wouldn't be possible. Judy Greer. Montacute says, I can see her. Well, that's not an answer. It wasn't Bridget Jones. It wasn't Donna Dawes. I think you mean Diana Dawes, but it wasn't her. It wasn't I Was Kidding. The answer is Basti Boudica, Renee Zellweger. Well done to Basti Boudica. That's an exotic name, if I've ever heard one. Right. Scottish outlaw and folk hero Rob Roy hailed from which Highland clan? Which part of the Highlands was he from? Which clan? It wasn't the MacLeods and it wasn't Peckham. It wasn't Clan Rob Roy, no. It wasn't Shetland or Campbell or Orkneys. Which clan? Not a location, geographical. Which clan? It wasn't McLachlan. It wasn't It was McGregor. Well done, Nicole, even though it has a Mac rather than a Mc. But we will allow Nicole to get the point because she's got a Scottish flag. So well done to Nicole, but you do need to learn to spell McGregor. Thank you, Nicole. Well done. Question number 9. In 2022, We Don't Talk About Bruno became the first ever Disney song to top the UK singles chart. What is the film's soundtrack? Which film's soundtrack is it from? Sorry. Which? It was not Frozen, and it wasn't Debbie Does Dallas. It wasn't Cilla Black. No, Cilla Black is not the answer to everything. It wasn't Fergie. The winner is Chili Kareen with Encanto, and it wasn't called You Looking Stoned, Courtney. I'm not looking stoned myself because I don't take drugs. So no, I like alcohol, but I don't like other drugs. So no, on this occasion, I don't think that was correct. There we are. Question number 10, your halfway house. Singaporean-born British violinist Vanessa May took part in the 2014 Winter Olympics in which sport? It was not toboggan, and it wasn't swimming, and it wasn't skeletons. It wasn't skating, but the I am the biggest C word with skiing is the winner. But you really need to change your name because we can't say it on air because it's too offensive for some of our guests. Right, question number 11. What color is the central ring of the Olympic flag? It is not yellow, it's not green, it's not blue, it's not. Pip Field wins the point with black. Well done to Pip Field. Question 12. In the acronym LASER, what does the E stand for? It is not emitting. You are close, but too far. It's not emitted. It's not ecstasy or electronics. It's not electro. Pipfield wins with emission. Emission is the answer. Question 12. In the pencil lead is actually primarily made of which crystalline form of carbon? The winner is Bambi Debonair with graphite. Well done, Bambi. You were very quick off the cards, so well done. Right. Question 14. The liqueur Kirsch is made with which fruit? Kirsch. And thank you again to Bernadette for sending some of this liquid. The answer is cherry. So thank you to Linda Joe. Oh, no, sorry. I have to say no. I was too slow. The winner is Bambi Debonair again with cherry. Bambi Debonair gets the point. I'm sorry. You were actually the very quickest there. Which is the only number that is 1 greater than a square and 1 less than a cube? Courtney is someone who is going to be told that you are going. Bye-bye, Courtney. Now, we need to bring back television. I hope we've brought back television, Harriet. He needs to be brought back because he's a friend of mine and he got banned and there was no need to ban him. but we don't want Courtney. Courtney, you are the weakest link, and you have been sent on your merry way. So please don't come back. And if you try and reinvent yourself, we'll just ban you again. So bog off, Courtney. Right. Horrible Courtney. So the answer has not been given yet. No, you are nowhere near the answer, any of you. Right. Thank you to Harriet for helping to get rid of Courtney, but I tried to do it myself. Busty is close to the answer, but not correct. Hey Tigers wins with 20. Oh, Simon Coates wins. Sorry, Simon Coates got there first with Simon Coates 26. So thank you, Simon Coates. Well done to you on getting the point. Huey Lewis and the News, Jennifer Rush, and Frankie Goes to Hollywood all charted high with singles with what name? What was the name of their singles? It wasn't 80s. The Power of Love, Mary T gets there first with The Power of Love. Thank you to Harriet for helping with the television. He is a friend of mine and he likes to write in a mocking way, and he does a lot of good for the world. So don't think that he's being rude. He just likes to wind me up, which is nothing wrong in that. But we did not like Courtney. Courtney is not a nice person, whoever she is. She's got no power of love. She's got a power of a potty mouth. So let's get rid of Courtney for once and for all. And if you come back, Courtney, under another name, you'll be told to bog off yet again. Bye-bye, Courtney. You are the weakest link. Right. Which chemical element has the symbol Si? It's not silver. It's not salt. But it is silicon. So Pipfield gets the point with silicon, though you have spelt silicon incorrectly by adding an E, which you did not need to do. It's not silicone, but we know that you meant what you meant. Question number 18. Which American park was the world's first national park? It was not silicone or Yosemite, it was Yellowstone. So Pipfield gets yet another point. Your penultimate question. Which writer, producer, and presenter has written 2 novels about the Thursday Murder Club? I have one copy of that sitting somewhere very close to me. I haven't actually read it, but I can see it in front of me, in fact. The writer is, as Montecute points out, Richard Osman. Richard Osman is the answer. So, your final question. Which character created by W.E. Johns was a detective inspector of the Special Air Police? And no, it's not Cilla Black. We need the full name, but I suppose I can allow, if you're very quick, Pipfield or Jack, one of you could get the answer if you give the full name. We need the full name. You've given the nickname, but us of you, Anna Perkins. So whichever one of you comes back with the full name will win. But it is not Endeavour Morse. It's not John Boggles. We need the full name of the person, not just his nickname. Okay, well, Chili Kareen got his proper name, which is James Bigglesworth. So he was nicknamed Biggles. I gave you all the opportunity to come back, but Chili Kareen came back with the correct answer. So our winner tonight, Harriet, who is our winner? Please reveal the name of the winner. Pip Field is the winner. Well done to Pip Field. And who came second? Right. Pip, Pip, hooray, as says Busted. Well done to Pip. Pip says it is her first win, and I have to say, well done to Pip. So there is no bias, conscious or unconscious bias in this quiz. But we say, well done to Pip. Pip, Pip, hooray. So I think we've had a lovely evening of chatter and conversation. I'm sorry I arrived a little late, but we've had nearly an hour. Right, so another nasty person has decided to come in. It's obviously the same one. You have been removed, Jackie Boy, who is obviously the same one. Yes, we will get rid of another one that you're out as well. I won't even name you. There we go. So, right, you're definitely going, bad person. Right. The next one, to be rude, will definitely be deleted. So good riddance to you. You're out. So anyway, thank you to you all. I wish you all a lovely evening, and I hope that you all sleep well and take care and have a wonderful night. So thank you very much to Harriet for her contribution, and thank you to Bambi and Montecute, who tied for second place. There we go. So I wish you all a wonderful evening, and take care, and don't have, as the late great Jill Dande would say, don't have nightmares. So good night and goodbye. Thank you.